As you become smarter, your brain stops experiencing reality directly. It intermediates everything through models, explanations, and predictions. You don't feel first, you understand first, and understanding delays connection. Let me tell you something nobody wants to admit. Every method that will make you intellectually superhuman will simultaneously make you emotionally inhuman. And here's the part that'll keep you up at night. You won't even notice it happening. Most people think intelligence and emotion exist in separate boxes. They don't. They're connected by neural pathways you're about to rewire. And once you understand this, you can never go back to comfortable ignorance. So here's your choice. Close this video and stay comfortable, or keep watching and learn the price of cognitive transcendence. Still here? Good. That means you're already different. Here's what happens when you train your brain for superhuman intelligence. You're essentially teaching your prefrontal cortex to override your limbic system. Logic over emotion, analysis over instinct, pattern recognition over empathy. Every time you solve a complex problem, every time you choose rationality over feeling, you're strengthening specific neural pathways while letting others atrophy. It's like building muscle, except you're building it at the expense of other muscles you don't realize you're losing. The monks who meditate for decades report emotional detachment. Chess grandmasters show higher rates of social isolation. Mathematical prodigies describe feeling like they're watching humanity through glass. This isn't coincidence. This is the trade. Your brain has finite resources. Neuroplasticity works both ways. What you use grows stronger. What you ignore withers. And emotional processing takes massive neural bandwidth that could be allocated to abstract reasoning. Training protocol. 1. The Feynman interrogation method. Richard Feynman didn't just understand physics. He could explain it to a child. But here's what they don't tell you about his technique. Take any concept you're learning, explain it out loud as if teaching a 12-year-old. When you hit a point where you can't simplify further, you found your knowledge gap. But here's the advanced version that rewires your cognition. Do this with your emotions, too. When you feel jealous, explain the jealousy to an imaginary child. I feel jealous because I'm experiencing a threat to my social value perception, which triggers ancient mate-guarding instincts programmed by evolution to prevent genetic competition. See what just happened? You turned a feeling into a mechanism. You translated subjective experience into objective analysis. Practice this daily. Every emotion becomes a case study. Every feeling becomes data. Within weeks, your analytical capacity will surge. You'll understand complex systems intuitively because you've trained your brain to deconstruct everything into first principles. But you'll also notice something unsettling. When someone tells you they're heartbroken, you'll see oxytocin withdrawal and attachment system disruption. You won't feel their pain, you'll diagnose it. The technique works. The human cost is invisible until someone who loves you says, "You've changed. You're here, but you're not really here." Training protocol 2. Deliberate cognitive load stacking. Your brain grows through stress, not comfort. Neurogenesis, the creation of new neurons, happens when you push past cognitive exhaustion. Here's the protocol. Layer 3. Cognitively demanding tasks simultaneously. Listen to a podcast in a language you're learning, while solving mathematics problems, while walking a new route that requires navigation. Your brain will scream. That's neuroplasticity happening in real time. Do this for 30 minutes daily. Your processing speed will double in 3 months. Your working memory will expand. You'll notice connections others miss because your brain has learned to operate in permanent parallel processing mode. But here's the shadow cost. Your tolerance for simple human interaction will evaporate. Casual conversation will feel insufferably slow. Small talk will become physically painful. You'll find yourself mentally solving differential equations while someone tells you about their day because your brain is now wired for constant optimization. Relationships require being present in the moment. This technique trains you to be present in 5 moments simultaneously. You can't untrain that. Training Protocol 3, Strategic Memory Palace Construction. The ancient Greeks understood something modern education forgot. Spatial memory is superhuman compared to rote memorization. Build a memory palace, not a simple one, an architectural masterpiece in your mind. Start with your childhood home. Place concepts in specific rooms, chemistry formulas in the kitchen, historical events in the living room, languages in the bedrooms. But extend this palace. Add wings for each domain of knowledge. Make it vast, make it precise. Spend 15 minutes before sleep walking through your palace, reviewing everything stored there. Your retention will become photographic. You'll recall information years later with perfect clarity. You'll connect disparate concepts because they're neighbors in your mental architecture. The cost? Your actual physical memories will start competing for the same neural space. You'll remember the quadratic formula perfectly, but forget your mother's birthday. You'll recall the Krebs cycle in detail, but not what your partner said at dinner last week. Your palace will become more real than reality, more organized, more accessible, more important, and slowly, imperceptibly, you'll prefer visiting it to engaging with the messy, unstructured chaos of human relationships. Training Protocol 4, Radical Information Density Immersion. Most people consume information like tourists, passive, comfortable, entertained. You need to consume it like a starving predator. Set your video playback to 2.5x speed. Every video, every lecture, every tutorial. Read at the edge of your comprehension speed, pushing faster each week. Listen to audiobooks at maximum speed while reading the transcript simultaneously. Eliminate all content that isn't dense with information. No entertainment without educational value. No music without lyrical complexity or musical theory application. No conversations without intellectual substance. Your information processing will become supernatural. You'll consume in 1 month what takes others a year. Your pattern recognition will accelerate because you're feeding your neural networks vast data sets at incredible velocity. The trade-off? You'll lose your ability to relax. Silence will feel threatening. Slow-paced experiences will trigger anxiety. You'll become addicted to information density the way others are addicted to substances. And human connection, which requires slow, meandering, inefficient communication, will feel like withdrawal. People bond through inefficiency, through repeated stories, through comfortable silence, through predictable interactions. You'll have optimized all of that away. Training Protocol 5. The Socratic Murder Method. Socrates didn't seek answers. He destroyed assumptions until truth was all that remained. Train yourself to question every belief you hold with genuine intent to destroy it. Each morning, take one conviction and argue against it with full intellectual honesty. If you believe in free will, spend 20 minutes building the strongest possible case for determinism. If you value emotional connection, argue why it's evolutionarily obsolete. Force yourself to steelman positions you despise. Make their arguments better than their advocates could. This will make you intellectually unstoppable. You'll see flaws in reasoning others miss. Your arguments will be bulletproof because you've already attacked them from every angle. Your thinking will be anti-fragile, but you'll also lose your ability to hold sacred anything. Every relationship will be analyzable. Every emotion will be dissectable. Every moment of meaning will be vulnerable to deconstruction. When your best friend shares something painful, you won't just empathize. You'll involuntarily see the logical inconsistencies in their narrative. When you experience joy, you'll simultaneously recognize it as temporary neurochemical fluctuation. Nothing will be safe from analysis, including the things that make life worth living. Once you see how timing, context, and psychological position actually work, you stop forcing outcomes. You stop burning energy at the wrong moment. You stop misreading signals. You stop reacting late. You begin to feel when something is open before it becomes obvious, when silence carries more weight than words, when restraint creates more pull than effort. That's what the Whisper Power Bundle is built for, not confidence. Calibration. It doesn't change who you are, it changes when and how you move. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they act out of sync. This corrects that. Not louder, not faster, aligned. If this message feels uncomfortably accurate, you already know why the link is there. Now finish the video. Training Protocol 6. Controlled discomfort exposure. Your brain's default mode is energy conservation. Comfort is the enemy of neuroplasticity. Deliberately introduce physical discomfort during cognitive work. Study in cold rooms. Learn while slightly hungry. Solve problems while standing or walking. Cold showers before mental work. Intermittent fasting during deep study sessions. Physical exercise immediately before intellectual challenges. The stress hormones released during discomfort enhance memory consolidation and focus. Your brain will associate cognitive effort with survival urgency, treating learning like life or death information. Your learning curve will become vertical. Your mental resilience will become unshakable. You'll work effectively in conditions that paralyze others, but you'll also rewire your reward system. Comfort will feel like failure. Rest will trigger guilt. Your relationship with ease and pleasure will become adversarial. And since relationships require comfort, safe spaces, relaxation, vulnerability, you'll unconsciously avoid them. Not because you don't value connection, but because your nervous system now codes comfort as weakness. Training Protocol 7. Analogical reasoning matrices. True intelligence isn't memorizing facts. It's transferring patterns across domains. Take a concept from physics and force yourself to find its parallel in psychology, then economics, then biology, then art. Example, entropy in thermodynamics. What's the equivalent in relationships, in organizations, in creativity? creative processes, in personal motivation, build matrices in notebooks, draw the connections, find the deep structure underlying surface differences. Your ability to innovate will explode. You'll solve problems in one field by importing solutions from another. You'll see meta-patterns that govern seemingly unrelated systems. Jobs did this. He connected calligraphy to computer interface design. Musk does this, transferring first principles from physics to business. The shadow? You'll lose the ability to experience anything on its own terms. You won't watch a sunset. You'll see thermodynamic energy transfer and psychological aesthetic response patterns. You won't enjoy music. You'll analyze mathematical relationships and neurological reward pathway activation. Everything becomes a case study. Nothing remains simply beautiful or meaningful. The texture of direct experience gets replaced by analytical overlay. You gain the ability to think like a genius. You lose the ability to experience like a human. Training protocol. 8. Adversarial collaboration sparring. Find someone smarter than you in a specific domain. Schedule weekly sessions where they attack your thinking and you defend it. Then reverse roles. No politeness, no ego protection. Pure intellectual combat with the goal of finding truth, not winning. Record these sessions. Review them. Notice your blind spots. Notice when emotion crept into your reasoning. Eliminate those entry points. Your thinking will become surgical. Your arguments will be anti-fragile. Your intellectual confidence will be earned, not assumed. But you'll also develop a combative relationship with ideas, and by extension, with people who hold them. Normal conversation will feel insufficiently rigorous. You'll interrupt people to correct minor logical flaws. You'll prioritize being right over being kind. And when someone needs support rather than solutions, when they need empathy rather than analysis, you won't be able to switch modes. Your brain will be locked in adversarial processing. The people who love you will stop sharing their problems with you, not because you're unhelpful, but because your help has become clinical, precise, and utterly devoid of warmth. The integration point, where genius meets isolation. Here's what happens after 6 months of these protocols. You'll wake up one day and realize you're operating on a different cognitive plane. Problems that once seemed impossible now appear trivial. You'll learn new skills in days that take others months. Your memory will be near perfect. Your analytical capacity will be superhuman. You'll also realize you haven't had a meaningful conversation in weeks. Your phone will be full of unanswered messages. Your relationships will be maintained through obligation rather than desire. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. Human connection requires cognitive inefficiency. It requires saying obvious things, repeating yourself, having conversations that go nowhere, spending time in unproductive ways, tolerating logical inconsistencies, accepting that feelings aren't always rational. Every protocol I've given you optimizes against these things. You can't use the Feynman method on emotions without distance. You can't stack cognitive load and still have bandwidth for presence. You can't live in memory palaces and prioritize real memories. You can't operate at 2.5x speed and slow down for human pace. You can't question everything and hold anything sacred. You can't seek discomfort and create safe, intimate spaces. You can't analyze everything and experience anything directly. You can't be in constant adversarial mode and build trust. The final protocol, conscious choice architecture. So here's the advanced technique nobody teaches. Compartmentalization with intention. Designate specific times for superhuman cognition, other times for deliberate humanness. When you're working, studying, creating, deploy everything. Optimize ruthlessly. Analyze mercilessly. Operate at maximum cognitive capacity, but create sacred spaces where you consciously turn it off, where you're allowed to be inefficient, where you practice being present without analysis, where you let yourself feel without interrogation. This is harder than it sounds. Once you've built these cognitive habits, they don't turn off easily. Your brain will want to optimize everything. You'll need to practice inefficiency like it's a skill, because for you, it will be. Set timers. During this hour, no analysis, just presence, no optimization, just being. No pattern recognition, just experience. It will feel unnatural, like driving a sports car in first gear. Your brain will resist. Do it anyway, because the real intelligence isn't maximizing cognition. It's knowing what to maximize and what to preserve. The choice. You now have 8 protocols that will transform your cognitive capacity beyond normal human limits. You also understand the exact price each one extracts from your humanity. The question isn't whether these techniques work. They do. The question is whether the trade is worth it. Some of you will implement all of them. You'll become intellectual machines. You'll achieve things that amaze others. You'll also wonder why achievement feels empty when there's no one left who really knows you. Some of you will reject all of them. You'll prioritize connection over cognition. You'll remain in the comfortable middle of intellectual mediocrity. You'll also wonder what you could have accomplished if you'd been willing to pay the price. The wise few will choose carefully, implement some, reject others, create boundaries, build compartments, stay human while developing superhuman capacity. That's the hardest path. It requires constant vigilance, constant choice. You can't automate wisdom. I've given you the map. The territory is yours to navigate. Choose carefully. This is one of the few decisions where intelligence alone isn't enough. You need wisdom, and wisdom requires something these protocols can't provide: the humility to stay connected to your humanity, even as you transcend its limitations. The techniques are yours. The consequences are yours. The choice is yours. What kind of mind do you want to build? And more importantly, what kind of person do you want that mind to serve?